Now, buddy, I've always wanted to live like Elvis Presley, and I'm not talking about overdosing in your own excrement. I'm talking about the plane that he flew around with. Everybody, the Lockheed Jetstar. And we can finally simulate what it was like to fly the first ever private jet that we ever built. Because we now have the Jetstar as a flight simulator model. You can now buy it for $30. And so far, people say it's quite good and it's quite interesting looking. This is the black livery, and doesn't it look a bit villainous? Doesn't it look quite a bit rock star indeed? I've been waiting for a flight simulator model forever because, once again, this was a revolutionary flying machine, the first ever business jet. It flew for the first time in 1957, a very long time ago. Of course, by Lockheed themselves. Yeah, the same company that made the F-22, which is quite a jump. Only 200 of those planes were built, though. There's only like 1 to 4 of these planes flying around still. Most of them have been scrapped, but only 3 of those planes apparently crashed, according to Wikipedia. That's a very good safety record. What an amazing airplane. Let's have a look at it. We are right now at Santa Monica Airport. Very rock star indeed. Let's get into the cockpit, which actually doesn't look all that amazing, you know, not modeling. I mean, it's just a 1950s developed airplane, and you see that. Although I do have to say, these upper windows right here make this plane look semi-futuristic even. This is the cockpit. We have some Garmin screen right here, which will make navigation with this airplane a lot easier. Now here is the cabin, at which we can take a look at. Look, there's a chat. What does this do? Coffee tray? Champagne tray? Wait, can we use that? Hold on. Can we stow the table? Come on, nope, that doesn't work. I don't know why it's even clickable. I mean, everything seems kind of clickable here. We can open the cabinets, in which we find baby oil. No, that is coffee. What's this? Pillows, okay. Very wooden, very old style. Here are some tea stuff. Probably the only herbs consumed on this airplane ever, right? And what is here in this back door? Oh, quite an extensive lavatory. Look, here is a toilet that we can overdose on indeed. A very big lavatory indeed. Very nice. No, I mean, this seems quite nicely modeled. What I like is the square windows right here, which is something refreshing in times of very circle windows nowadays. Let's go ahead and close this door right here and take this plane for a spin. Come on. Yes, there we go. Now, this is a very old, outdated private jet. Obviously, as the first one, you can see it's, I don't know if I would trust it, but we might be able to answer the question today. Is it still usable today? I mean, right now, there is a 1978 Lockheed Jetstar 2 for sale. Oh, okay, it's currently not for sale, but it was for sale for $745,000, which for a jet is pretty cheap. And look at this cabin right here. It nearly doesn't look super okay. It looks like an old Caravan, but look, it's been kind of upgraded. We have some screens here. This is the extensive lavatory. Look at that luxuriousness. Yes, you could fly this plane today, but I think any charter pilot would, you know, crash out just looking at this cockpit. Let's see if I can even fly this plane at all without dying. All right, battery, turn that on. Oh, okay, that was a very delayed battery noise. Probably fans to cool down the battery. All right, so let me see if I can turn on those engines already. Now we have engine start type air start. I don't know, start engine. Okay, engine select 1. Yes, okay, there you go. Engine loaded. The 4th engine does work. Look at that. Percent RPM is coming up. We are getting this going. This plane doesn't need an APU. These engines are small enough, so that is perfect. I'm starting up the villainous Lockheed Jetstar. Now, that is not very audible, to be honest. Okay, now engine number 3. Turn that on. Very quick startup. Come on. Yes, that is working well. Look at that. We're turning on the engines. 3 engines already on. Let's turn on the engine number 1. This should, yes, it is working. Look at that. I mean, the whole engine configuration on this airplane is super interesting. You've never seen a 10-seater private jet before that actually has 4 jet engines. And it's funny because the Jetstar was actually supposed to only have 2 engines. The British Bristol Siddeley Orpheus engines, which, I mean, just that name sounds cool, but because of lack of supply from Bristol, they chose the smaller JT12 engines, and you needed 4 of them. This arrangement reminds me very much of the Ilyushin Il-62. Very interesting. Let's go ahead and now turn on the generators. All of them. So that one should go. Gen works. Perfect. Now, some of these switches don't work here in this airplane. Inop, I don't know what that does. Let's turn on the bleed air. Very good. We can make the cockpit cooler. or hotter, this is not a very complicated cockpit at all. And I guess you could still very much fly this airplane today if you refitted the avionics here. Now I see a little bit of an old-style INS panel right here, which is how pilots used to navigate before GPS was really a thing. But we're not going to use it. Luckily, we have our trusty touchscreen here, which we can work. So this is quite a modern version of this airplane with refitted avionics. This could fly and you could buy. So let's go ahead and finally start taxiing here. Come on. Let's go ahead and set the flaps now to takeoff position. And look at that taxiation. I think the coolest thing about this is the fuel tanks here. They needed to add that because of the 4 engines. Look at the landing light here. Doesn't this airplane look just so... It's kind of cute as well. It looks like a toy plane, especially when you brake. That's funny. Come on, Lana. Let's take off here. Runway 21. With these 4 engines now, we should have plenty of power. I think the funniest thing is really the brake response. For some reason, the dampers here on the landing gear have very high travel, and this airplane can like bounce around a lot. Makes for smoother landings. What I find so cute is the close proximity of the main landing gears. Right, this is a very big airplane, but doesn't it look like a toy plane from like a, dollar store? Let's go ahead and take off now. Full power. 4 engines indeed. Yes, turbojet. Very efficient. Not. Let's go. Yes, full power indeed. Full acceleration. We are looking good. And we don't have a very swept wing at all. And so should we, take off here at 100 knots already? This airplane does not require a lot of airspeed. Holy moly. What in the world was that? Welcome back to great flying. I'm sorry. Look at the way we can climb here out of Los Angeles. We can just put up the landing gear now. Come on. Yes, now it works. And it travels nicely inside of our fuselage. Now here the controls are a little bit jumpy, as you can tell on the takeoff. I like to test that always. But something I like is the way this airplane looks when it just climbs. Let's see if I can find an autopilot. No, it's right here. It's a bit cryptic. Heading select altitude. AFCS engage. I think it might just work now. Yeah, in real life you would have to really refit this airplane to fly properly. I mean, it flies up to 40,000 feet. And I just cannot get this ancient autopilot to work properly for me. Come on, pitch up. Doesn't really do anything to the point where you'd rather just hand fly the plane, but at least we've got GPS, and that's a start. And now we're crashing down. But yes, about the idea of buying this jet right now and flying it, after refitting the whole airplane's cockpit and making it more modern, you'd have to find a pilot. And also the idea and also finding replacement parts would be virtually impossible. This plane probably rather belongs in a museum than in a proper fleet nowadays. Anyway, look, it flies. But let's see if we can get to all the extravagant location an Elvis Presley might want to go to. Yes, a runway test is in order. Let's see if this plane could fly to, Saint-Tropez-la-Mole. Yes, sir, buddy. Doesn't seem to be like a big of a problem. Look at the flap surfaces on this airplane. This is practically built for a short runway. Now, for some reason, most of our engines have failed. No trouble for the Lockheed Jetstar. I mean, they're kind of useless in the landing anyway. I mean, these engines do not have reverse thrust, right? But at least the flaps can go down to 50 degrees, making this airplane be able to fly at very slow speeds, which is great. I mean, a cruise flight, it can fly as fast as a modern airliner, Mach 0.8, but it can also fly super slow here. I mean, 120 knots is almost fast for a landing in this airplane. Come on now, La Mole, you can do it. Absolutely no trouble at all. Oh, magnificent landing. Let's go ahead and stop this airplane. No trouble. It's very quiet now, that's for sure. Come on, just stop now. I think because of the engines lost, we've lost brakes. But, we can consider this test as successfully completed, and now we're going to end up in a river. Maybe let's try the island of the rich and famous, St. Barts, of course. This is the United States of America livery. I guess they transported some VIP people around in that, too. There were not only civilian operators here. Full power in the turbojet engines. You can do it. Look at that acceleration. Look at that noise. I'm pretty sure the whole Caribbean is able to hear our airplane. Okay, for some reason here. You guys just see that? The engines just fell back a little bit. Uh-oh, stop falling back. Go full power. Maintain power. Full power. I need you. Ah! All right, there we go. That was close to dying, but we didn't die. I guess you can't run these engines at full power for longer than 5 seconds, which is funny. Come on, just get up this mountain here. Just get up. Just get up. Just get up, and you've gotten up. That is very safe maneuvering here. That would really barely, I wouldn't fly that. Anyway, this is good. And so a landing should work just as well. Let's come in. Let's do it. Here it is, coming in. That was quite hard. And the brakes aren't very powerful. Okay, stopping this airplane does take a little bit of a distance. We're going to totally overshoot this and die. You know, Elvis would like that. Great. Yeah. So everybody, there you go. The Jetstar for the Microsoft Flight Simulator. So far, pretty good look. It's for $30. It's totally an alright aircraft. Definitely not the most realistic or most immersive, but at least we now have a model of this magnificent airplane. Everybody, thank you guys so much for watching this video. And I'll see you guys tomorrow as always. Good night. And a special thanks goes out to my members, my supporters. Guns Killer, R27, James DeRom, That Dude, Anime Gods of Gaming, Derek, Insider Plane, Nishijitsu Finder, Professional Jamal, Ryland Williams, and New the York. You've got beautiful names.